Akram has also served as president of the Security Council and chair of the G77, among many other titles. He brings a wealth of experience, and he is playing a key role right now as president of ECOSOC, which, as you know, serves as a hub for the exchange of knowledge and mutual learning on the 2030 agenda. ECOSOC also organizes important platforms for exchanges around sustainable development, including the high-level political forum, where countries present their reports on their progress implementing the 2030 agenda. The theme for next year's forum will be Sustainable and Resilient Recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, and SDG 16 will be one of the 9 goals linked to pandemic recovery being reviewed. I'm very pleased to invite Ambassador Akram to share his thoughts on how COVID-19 has changed our trajectory towards the 2030 agenda and the significance of SDG 16 in helping to safeguard and accelerate progress towards the agenda. Ambassador Akram, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Director General, dear Jan, distinguished Director General of the WHO, distinguished ministers, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to address you today at the opening of the Assembly of the International Development Law Organization, IDLO, in my capacity as President of ECOSOC. IDLO's mandate is unique to promote development through law and laws for development. Today, its work is fully anchored in SDG 16, which aims to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. The organization's new strategic plan has broadened the scope of its programs by promoting more directly the utilization of relevant laws and regulations to advance development goals at the national and international level. The strategic plan rightly places renewed emphasis on further deepening ILO's partnership with the United Nations, as it has done with WHO, in advancing common goals embodied in the 2030 agenda. I'm confident that ILO's new Director General, Ms. Jan Beagle, with her vast experience at the United Nations, and with the able help of the permanent observer in New York, my dear friend Patricio Civili, will steer the organization in a new and dynamic direction. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate my compatriot and colleague, Ambassador Johar Salim of Pakistan, who has been elected as the next president of the IDLO Assembly at this important juncture. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 is the most severe health and economic crisis the world has faced in a century. It has profoundly altered economic, social, and political conditions and reversed years of development gains and progress towards the SDGs. The unprecedented health and economic crisis triggered by COVID-19 has fully exposed the inherent inequalities embedded in the global financial and economic system. As usual, the poorest and most vulnerable countries and the poorest among various groups are suffering the most. They do not have the fiscal space to redress the health emergency, revive economic growth, and achieve the SDG targets. Renewed global solidarity and concerted efforts are required to meet these unprecedented challenges. The objectives agreed by the international community in the 2030 Agenda provide a roadmap to overcome the present crisis and to build forward better and to create a just, equitable, and sustainable socio-economic order. Ladies and gentlemen, the rule of law and the justice sector are concrete enablers of the response to and recovery from COVID-19. In this regard, extension of IDLO's work envisaged in the new strategic plan towards issues such as climate justice, technology transfer, licensing of intellectual property, anti-corruption, and supporting developing countries within its mandate to create a more level playing field in trade and investment will enable IDLO to make a distinctive contribution to the global response to COVID-19. Such an approach will also address both the immediate consequences of the pandemic and the underlying conditions that have come to so profoundly aggravate the socio-economic crisis which the pandemic has unleashed. One area where the IDLO can help is to strengthen domestic and international laws and regulations to prevent the illicit financial flows from developing countries. I am glad to note that IDLO is currently participating actively as an observer in meetings of various subsidiary bodies of the Conference of State Parties to the UN Convention Against Corruption, including those in preparation of the upcoming special session of the General Assembly against corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, the goals encompassed by SDG 16 are essential to the achievement of the 2030 Agenda, as well as a sustainable recovery from COVID-19. IDLO's contributions will be essential to achieve SDG 16 and recover from COVID-19. I wish you all success in these endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Akram, for joining us today and for those inspiring words, for your support for the organization, and for setting the scene for our discussion this afternoon. We look forward to partnering with ECOSOC to accelerate progress on the 2030 Agenda through the rule of law.